The neurons are protected by a layer of fatty membrane known as blank that is produced by blank. So we want to know what is the layer that protects neurons, and we want to know what produces it as well. So looking at the choices, let's just see if there's anything that we know we could eliminate. Well, we might know peritoneum and know that this has to do with the abdominal system, that it's actually a lining of the abdominal cavity and abdominal organs. So that's not the same as the lining for neurons. So we could know to eliminate option B. Then we also could see parametrium and carotid sheath. Are these anything that we could eliminate? Well, the parametrium, this is actually the outermost layer of the uterus, which is part of the female reproductive system, which is where if a fetus is developing, where it would go. The menstrual cycle, the contents come from the uterus. So different from the neurons, different system. So we can eliminate that. And then option D, the carotid sheath, that would be the protective connective tissue that is around the neck for the carotid arteries and different parts of the heart or coronary systems. So therefore, we can eliminate option D because that's not what protects the neurons. Option A, the only one that we haven't eliminated, is the myelin sheath. And this is in fact the fatty layer that insulates axons or neurons, and they are in fact produced by the Schwann cells. You may have seen in diagrams of the myelin sheath that you might have your ends here, and it's sort of insulated by these buffers there. Some people say it's like a coating over a wire. And how some people think of it, if you've ever seen a slip and slide, which is kind of like it's a plastic lawn toy like this, and then you have your hose with your water on it, so you have water on it, and then people will slide on it, and you slide across the slip and slide. And the slip and slide is sometimes used to compare what the myelin sheath does, because if you have a message that's being brought across, swoosh, and then across and across. So it helps speed it up and move it faster along. So this slip and slide is like the myelin sheath, and it is in fact produced by the Schwann cells. So option A would be correct. And now that we've identified the correct answer, let's also go back to our eliminated choices and explain why the cells that are listed as what produces each part would be incorrect as well. So option B had the peritoneum, and it says endymial cells, which actually the endymial cells, these are glial cells. So they are still in the central nervous system, so they are still related to the neurologic system, but however, they are responsible for producing and circulating cerebral spinal fluid, which is still part of the same system, but not the same as myelin sheath. So we have cerebral spinal fluid does not equal myelin sheath. So that also would have been part of the elimination process. In option C, we had the parametrium, which had the microglia. And the microglia, they're part of the immune cells of the central nervous system. So they help with the macrophages. If you remember from the immunity section, the macrophages, they engulf or eat up foreign invaders. So different than what produces the myelin sheath that we're looking for in the answer A. So we can eliminate that. And then epithelial cells that we discussed in option B are listed again in option D, incorrect. So option A, the myelin sheath, would be your correct choice to this question.